Hey guys, welcome to Bake With Me. We are gonna do, as usual, 2 fabulous things today. We are gonna teach you to make a gluten-free apple cinnamon bundt cake, and we are gonna learn some amazing things from our wonderful and incredible friend. Please help me welcome Becky. Yay, Becky. So Becky, besides us baking some wonderful things, why did I invite you here today?
Well, because I have bipolar disorder.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I mean, I think it exhibits itself differently in different people, but for me, it's feeling really good. But unlike most people, I get really good, and it's hard to know where the top is. It's hard to know, when to slow down.
Yeah.
And then because of the really good, there's kind of a mirror effect. It's like a yin and yang, and I end up boom, feeling really bad.
low.
Yeah, or really anxious.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we are going to talk some more about that. I'll ask you some questions while we bake. Can we get started?
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to make our apple cinnamon bundt cake. And we're going to start. I'm going to ask you, we have 2 cups of granulated sugar. As I always say, I use organic cane sugar. I stay away from the white processed stuff. So if you wouldn't mind dumping that sugar into the bowl. And then we're going to add in 1.5 cups of oil, any type of vegetable oil that you prefer. Go ahead. Nicely done. Have you done this before?
A couple times.
And then we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And make sure your vanilla extract is gluten-free. There are some that are not. All right, we're going to blend that up a little bit here. Yeah, you got to get that motor running. Awesome. Let's turn it down a little bit. There you go. This machine's excited.
Like I said.
This is just like you, right? It goes all the way up, and now we got to bring it down. Okay, so while you do that, I'm going to jump in. We have 3 eggs, because we don't want eggs flying up at you, although it will be fun.
Yes, it would make the show more fun.
All right, 1, 2, 3 eggs. There we go. And if you don't mind, just continue to stir that. Guys, I'm going to combine all of our dry ingredients. We have 3 cups of gluten-free flour. Woo! I'm going to dump that in there. And then we're going to add in there all 1 teaspoon. It's easy. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, although my cinnamon is never just 1 teaspoon. I always add just a little bit extra because I love it. And 1 teaspoon of baking powder. The recipe will be offered at the end of the show, so make sure you look at it. This is not only a gluten-free recipe, but a dairy-free recipe as well. If you want to add some dairy into that, there's a caramel glaze that you can create and put on the cake when it's done, and that'll be in the recipe as well at the end of the show. But we're going to keep ours dairy-free today. How are we looking over there?
It looks good.
Good.
What do you think?
I think it looks fabulous.
All right.
So this is a pretty simple recipe. We're just going to toss in all of our combined dry ingredients, and then we're going to toss in our apples. So while we do that, why don't you tell me a little bit more? Maybe tell me how old you were when you started recognizing that these highs and lows were happening.
Well, I got diagnosed when I was 14 just with depression, and then it started kind of exhibiting itself. I think through high school it started showing that it was not just a lows, that it was actually the ups and downs that were more significant.
Okay.
So basically since I was 14. Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
So you noticed this or your parents noticed this? I'm going to reach over you here first.
Actually my dad was a psychiatrist. So,
oh my goodness. So you almost lucked out in that department.
Yeah.
Maybe lucky, I don't know. That might have been hard too.
So it was caught really early on, and I think that helped me learn to be more in tune. I think my dad really taught me, just inadvertently because of his career, knew how to teach me how to be self-aware.
Oh, wow.
And that's really the key to, I think, being okay with bipolar, is being self-aware.
Okay. And then once you learn sort of what it feels like to be coming up on those highs and those lows, you can sort of control it better, right?
Yeah. I mean, at one point, I think someone had told me, a professional had told me, oh no, you can't control the highs and lows, but it's actually not true. You actually have a great deal of control over it, but you really have to be able to listen to yourself and when you're up, it's not so much like, oh my gosh, I got to get down, I'm too hard. You don't panic. Okay. You just go, one of your guests on one of your shows talked about mindfulness with anxiety. It's exactly the same thing. Being aware and just noting, oh, I'm really up today. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be buying that extra pair of shoes.
Is that a symptom of it? You wind up spending?
Well, I mean, for me, maybe not so much. For me, I say yes to a lot more things, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I don't really consider it a disability, because for me, it's a powerful tool. I mean, it's an optimism. It's a you know.
Well, the word disability to me, it winds up having a negative connotation just because of what we put on it. But really, the definition of a disability is just something that impacts your life on a daily basis. So it's not a negative thing.
Right.
So
No.
I love that you recognize it, you own it, you and you manage it, which is the key word, right? Managing.
I like to say that bipolar is, I figured out how to make it my superpower.
Your superpower, I love that. I need superpowers here to get this thing mixed, so I'm really trying here. So that's great. Like, I really appreciate you coming in, because it's not very easy to disclose something like that and just openly talk about it, because there's so many misconceptions.
Oh yeah.
What do you think are like the biggest misconceptions that are out there?
I don't know what people think when I tell them, but I know what I worry about. I worry about people thinking I'm crazy, you know. And that's and
well, honey, who ain't at this point?
Exactly.
I mean, I love that grammar. Who ain't?
But that's the bottom line. Is that I mean, you know, we all have our own level of craziness, and I'm not crazy. I'm not. I mean, in fact, I look around at other people who don't know how to manage their life.
Right. Can't recognize who they are and what they are and how to.
Exactly. So to me, it's like, yeah, maybe I have really good days, but maybe that's. But the fact that I can recognize it and go, okay, don't go too far, you know, that's a strength, not a weakness.
I love it. And I love you. I think you're amazing. So on that note, I'm going to take our amazing apples. When you are chopping and cutting and peeling your apples, you can do that in any way you want. You can make it as big as small or small as you want. While you're doing it, just drop in a little bit of lemon juice. It could be from a fresh lemon or even any lemon juice you have in your refrigerator, so that they don't brown while you're making the rest of your batter. Do you want to give this a toss? Just mix those apples in there. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
Do you
you're not
bake?
kidding. Oh yeah, that's like my thing. That's what you want to talk about mindfulness. If I need to chill and just be centered, I bake.
You bake.
That's my thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we have a prepared Bundt pan. All that means is I sprayed a little Pam in it, and it's oiled up and ready to go. So as soon as our apples are incorporated, we just throw it in our Bundt pan, and we're gonna have a delicious apple cinnamon Bundt cake.
See, if I was at home, I would be like.
Would you lick the batter?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh, I can't do that, just because there's raw eggs.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now we are going to move some of these bowls here and put our batter in our pan. Oops, put that there. Okay. This is the hard part. The tricky part is not getting it on the sides of the bowl. Would you mind spinning the bowl around, or the Bundt pan around?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Get that in there. So how are you feeling today?
Good.
You feel good? You glad to be here? Sweet.
Absolutely, I am thrilled to be here. And you know, it's funny because the other day, because the thing about bipolar is that sometimes when you're feeling good, you forget that you have it.
Oh, okay.
And I use bipolar loosely because I like you were saying, like I think we're all moody. You know what I mean? And
especially in today's world.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we have a lot to deal with.
Exactly.
Everybody's walking around with some issue, concern, disability, stressor, something.
So it's just, the key is just to always remember, not even just when you're up, but always, like, where am I at? How am I today? Check in. I keep up, something I recommend for people with bipolar disorder is to do every night before you go to bed, it doesn't have to be a journal, just a little checklist of like, what was my mood? How much did I sleep?
Okay.
And that has like really, it's just a little grounding tool. Just every night before I go to bed, I just check, okay, I've been doing it for probably 15 years now.
Nice.
And it, you know, I throw them away after a while, but sometimes I look at it and I go, oh, like sometimes I'll be miserable and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I've been depressed for like a month. And then I'll go look at my sheet and like, oh no, it's been 2 days. So it's a good reference point.
Yes, that's awesome. What an amazing tip. Thank you. So we are going to put our Bundt cake in a 325-degree oven for 55 to 70 minutes. I know it sounds like a long time, but it is worth waiting for. So we will be back in just a moment with our apple cinnamon Bundt cake. We are back. Our kitchen smells absolutely wonderful. The Bundt cake is out and cooled. Is there anything else, Becky, that you feel like we should know, or anything you want to tell us?
Well, when I meet people with bipolar disorder, anxiety, or you know, any mental health issues, I want them to know that they're not alone. That and it's not and you're not crazy. I mean,
Right,
that's, you know,
right.
that we all go through hard stuff, and I think when we're given something, and I mean it, like when we're given something like bipolar disorder, that it's actually, if you turn it around and say, well, how do I make this my strength? For me, it's because I'm really sensitive, like because I've been in the pit of despair and I've seen all this amazing just joy. Like when I'm with people, I can be really present for them.
Yeah.
So for me, that's my superpower.
I love it.
So, but we've all got superpowers, so it's just a question of finding them.
It.
Yeah,
And believing
yeah.
in it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
owning it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
Aw.
yeah.
What do you say we eat?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. We're slicing in. Oh, she's a beaut. All right. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, it's so moist and delicious looking. All right, I'm just gonna take a little piece here because I got you a big old honker. All right, are we ready?
All right.
Look at this, it's falling apart.
Oh, it looks so good.
All right, cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
Thank you so much
Yep.
for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That is so good. You guys have to try. You want some? You want some? All right. Thanks so much. See you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more information on the disability that you learned about today, click the link below and please subscribe to our channel. Peace, love, and happiness.